Welcome back, guys. So today we have a real travesty for you. A new official released Super Nintendo game that is being reported does not actually work on real Super Nintendo systems. So I've dug into this a bit, done a lot of tests, and I think I have it figured out. So today we're going to be taking a look at that, the issues concerning this, reviewing the product, and whatever else we decide to talk about, right? So this game here, Retroism, received the license to release the Japanese version of Super Double Dragon in the US as Return of Double Dragon. You may remember these fools as they gave us the craptacular fighting game last year, Unholy Knight, for the Super Nintendo. That game was pure garbage. And those involved really should be ashamed of themselves. That game worked on any Super Nintendo system I tried. So they get a D- for effort in actually making sure the game worked, even though it sucked. Now we have this stinker. Return of Double Dragon. So this guy, it's a stinker for a couple reasons. One, the game sucks. Two, it doesn't work on the vast majority of Super Nintendo systems out there. What kind of garbage is that? Seriously. So a reviewer of mine by the name of Ben Jenkins gave me the heads up on this nightmare. And after looking at the Amazon reviews, I thought, wow, can this really be true? A Super Nintendo game that doesn't work on the Super Nintendo. Maybe they just got defective carts, those people with those reviews. Maybe something else is going on here. I don't know. So I decided to bite the bullet and see if I could find out what the issue is. But before we get into all that, let's go ahead and unbox this thing and talk about it real quick. So I received this just like this in a freaking plastic bag. It wasn't sealed, nothing. And from what I'm understanding, that's how most people are getting it. It's not sealed, it's just like that, right? And it shipped from Amazon in a bubble envelope, so it got a little crushed right here. You know, if you really want to collect this garbage, plan on getting a crushed box, just the way it is. So I'll go ahead and open it from the crushed side, take out what we got, and there we go. Show you the box. SNES console compatible, Technos, Retroism, some information on the game back here, whatever, made in China. There we go. Nice. So we get a little instruction manual. Always cool to get these kind of things, you know. Oh, it goes over the story. That's pretty interesting. We'll discuss that later on. Your controls, mode select, and option screen. And they really have the nerve to advertise you buying Unholy Knight. That should have came as a free pack-in with this game, seriously. So there's that. And you get this little crinkly bag with your game with the shiny ass label on the front and back. The label is kind of peeling up on mine. It was actually worse when I first got it. And there's a lot of bubbles in here. I don't even know if you can see that, but there's a lot of bubbles all over the place in this damn thing. On the top, everywhere, just bubbles. Bubble-rific. See there, we got bubbles. I don't know. I don't like that. You know, put a little effort into these things, guys. Come on, seriously. The one thing I can give this credit for is it's an actual, you know, Super Nintendo style cart. And it feels decent quality besides this crappy job they did with the sticker, which really bothers me, man. Like, God, people making repros put in more effort than that. That sucks, but all right. So there it is. So after fairly extensive testing, yes, this crap-ass cart works on all my clone consoles, be it from Retrobit, Hyperkin, or the best of the best, the Super NT. Now, what about on original hardware? So I went through and tested this bastard on 3 official SNES console revisions. An early release SNES, a 1-chip 03 later release, and the SNS 101, otherwise known as the Super Nintendo Junior. After doing these tests, I discovered that this cartridge does in fact work on official hardware. but it's going to depend on what revision hardware you have. If you have an early release that has 2 video chips, you, sir, are out of luck. Most likely it will not run on your system. I've tested this cart on several early 2-chip SNES consoles and have had 0 luck getting the game to boot. And I went on to test on the SNES Junior and the 1-chip 03 console that I have, and bam! This turd boots up no problem. Such a huge oversight in quality control. The majority of official consoles out there are most likely going to be the 2-chip early models. This game just does not want to work on those. For shame, Retroism, for shame! What the hell's wrong with you? Now these punks, they advertised the game to be SNES system compatible. Claimed it ran on original SNES and clone hardware. The damn cartridge and box both say SNES console compatible. The listing says the same thing. But these sneaky fools went in and updated the listing to say it does not work with original hardware. What's the point then? Why bother? Why are you going to buy a Super Nintendo game that does not work on the Super Nintendo? Stupid. It's really stupid. So, okay, we got that part of the drama out of the way. Simply don't buy this crap. For $50, your hard-earned money is better spent elsewhere on something that actually had some care put into it. But if you do have a compatible console and want some awesome Double Dragon action, seriously, my opinion, this game is not for you. But let's go ahead and talk about my thoughts on this game before we go and why I feel that way. So this game originally released in 1992 in the US as Super Double Dragon, and in Japan as Return of Double Dragon, which had a handful of changes made. Music was changed around, enemies didn't do as much damage with certain weapons. There were also a couple extra levels added prior to the end fight of the game. So that's the version that we have here today for the first time ever released in this form in the USA. And I do say this game sucks, and I do mean it. I can't help but compare this game not to other Double Dragon games necessarily, but to another side-scrolling beat-em-up that was actually released prior to this game on the SNES in 1990, in Japan in 91 in the US, and that is Capcom's Final Fight. Return of Double Dragon is such a sluggish game compared to it. The music's repetitive, and it's fairly lame. It's not indicative of the action taking place whatsoever. The music seriously drove me nuts. I typically expect to see enemy types being reused like any beat 'em up, but oh my god, this game uses the same 3 dudes over and over throughout the entire game. It's so boring. Dude with Rising Sun bandana. Guy with same vest as bandana dude but with longer hair. Skinnier dude with 2 swords. Over and over. Sure, they color swap sometimes, but when 2 of the guys you fight throughout the game are essentially the same sprite, but just with a different head, it grows boring fast. Oh, there is a 4th guy actually, that he does show up sometimes to get his ass kicked. But guess what? He's just a color swap of the sprite of your character you're playing as. When you finally run across an enemy that's different, you grow ecstatic. It's like sweet. Hells yes, they finally introduced a new enemy type. Thank God. And then it turns out it was actually the level boss. But how would you know it's the end level boss? Oh, I guess I forgot to mention, as you beat the crap out of these generic fools as Billy or Jimmy, there's actually no story or cutscenes whatsoever. You fight a boss, move on. Why are we even fighting these pudwags? Who knows? The game just abruptly starts with you kicking some dudes' asses. No explanation is needed, apparently. Just beat them up. So this game definitely has its issues. The only solid info I can find is the game had a really, bad time constraints when it was being, made, and they simply couldn't make the game they originally planned. It was supposed to have a story, more variety, but that's definitely not what we got here. We got a mediocre, slow-paced beat-em-up that faintly resembles a Double Dragon game. Even when you finally beat this game, you still have no idea what the hell the point was. The game took me about an hour to complete, and it bored the crap out of me. Not worth the $50. The one nice thing I can say is the fighting and controls are definitely better than the original NES games. You know, there are more moves and specials you can do. Oh, and you can block. You better learn to block early though. Most of the time if an enemy connects his fist, foot, or weapon to your face, you will be stunned and get a major beatdown before being able to fight back. It's just ridiculous. So those are my feelings on this game. I just wanted to share the drama behind it, the crap that's going on with Retroism making a game that doesn't work on the majority of official hardware, just stupid. And overall, my personal thoughts is that this game is not a good game. You don't have to agree with me, but hey, if this video was informative, I would appreciate if you could smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Follow me on Twitter, do all that cool stuff. We are gonna be doing some amazing giveaways coming up pretty soon. And the better your chances, you need to be subscribed, hit that notification bell, and we're gonna be doing some exclusive giveaway stuff on Twitter as well. So might as well jump over there if you can. If not, it's cool, man. So with that said, guys, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom.